Cheers, brother.
Yeah, yeah. Tip advance.
Tip advance.
That.
You think your brother understood the whole idea about advertising and placement?
Yeah.
I know it blew by it fast. It's kind of a new idea. I just talked to you about it and we created it like a couple days before, maybe even the day before.
Yeah, shit. He definitely understood it, man. I mean, I think he's pretty excited about it. You know, going through the website, as far as what he was telling us, it's pretty, a 1, 2, 3 step. You know what I mean? So you can't get no easier as far as subscribing to something else. You know.
Yeah, I think like the tip jar makes sense to anybody.
Any industry.
Any industry, anybody. We like you were talking to George, our new sponsor.
Yeah.
A small.
We met this guy at Total Wine, giving out samples. We try to figure out who owned, Dirty Boy. What is it?
I don't even know.
It's something that's.
I know his name, which is odd.
Which is
because
George.
usually I know the company name before I know the owner's name, but
Yeah.
this time around the owner was hustling at the free fucking take a shot at Total Wine, which is nice.
Yeah, I have never met a person that's actually, giving out free samples at Total Wine and be the actual guy that's, giving it out. And it's actually a plus in the long run.
Definitely a plus. That's why I wanted to kind of work with him. So good thing, he asked about our shirts. We happen to be wearing these shirts.
Stands out when 2 people wearing them, man.
He thought it was a sex toy shop or whatever, something sexual.
Yeah, anything that was sexual just because of the tip.
Although his brand is he gave us free shirts too. It said, "I'm a dirty boy."
Yeah.
But George is ideal for us because he's new. Out of Arizona, coming here because he knows the Arizona market. It's not where it's at, but doing things out here in Vegas and investing the time and putting in the time to fucking making his brand work. He's had can I say failed restaurant? Because he said he used to have one.
I mean, I wouldn't say a failed restaurant. He said he used to have one. I don't know if it failed or not. He might have just sold it and then maybe, started his new company.
But the way he said it was like high probability, high possibility it was a failed restaurant.
Yeah. Because said it was a Western?
Country Western bar,
country
yeah.
bar?
With fucking live music. Pretty big bar. So he understood the industry. I don't know if too many people who live outside of Vegas, even if they're in the industry, understand the industry as we always reference to here in Vegas. Because for me, I definitely know there's a big difference that we constantly talk about. What do you think your brother understood about? What do you think he didn't understand about advertising or about everything that I share? Because I know I kind of just I feel like I just threw up everything.
Dad, I would not know what does he not understand in the long run.
I mean, you know your brother, so it's like.
I mean, from the way he was talking about it, made it seem like it was all there. It was easy steps. So I think we grasped it pretty well, I believe.
I mean, he's been there since day one, and he's understood it. He's seen us kind of work this program and make small little changes. But I think in the past 2 to 3 weeks, we made some pretty major changes. Yeah. Or refined the things that we were already thinking about and already changing.
I think the only thing that I don't think he really doesn't understand is the tip jar part, because it's not industry,
Yeah.
I mean, because he'd be like, what the hell is a tip jar? I mean, he knows the tip, but he doesn't know what the hell the jar is.
Online tip jar, yeah.
He doesn't realize, it's pretty much, the cup, buy your machines or buy your food. Sometimes people put comps, some people put their, your meals up there. If you add a couple of drinks, they take that one out and put it back in. It's pretty much, the tip jar. You can put the money in there, you can put your receipts there, your comps there, your whatever you owe. That's what a tip jar is in the long run. But for the industry, tip jar for us means money. So I don't think he quite understand that yet, but he'll understand it more when he come out here next time. We'll probably go bar hop while he's here, try to keep him entertained.
Yeah, because I think he understands the concept and the visual and what it looks like on the page. Because he saw the page And to a certain point, like, it is self-explanatory, but I think if you can share with him, like, the experience of why, like, that is, like, a huge advantage. It is something different, but it's also, like, it's a huge advantage. You know what I mean? Like, being able to control the way the money is transacted.
Yeah.
When someone gives you cash, you kind of control that. You put it in a jar, right? But what do you get to do? You get to take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to do that when they run it on a credit card.
No.
Except for PTs where you get to cash it out, right?
Yeah, you know you can do it, but you have to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, you know.
But still,
trying
that
to get
goes through
developed.
somebody's fucking possession. It goes into their bank account, right? And if most restaurants fail and have a hard time even before they fail, before they go out of business, it's like they don't. The scary part is restaurants just don't go out of business all of a sudden. They have a hard time. They're surviving. And when I mean surviving, they're just like they're clawing at a way to get out, right?
Yeah.
But who gets to suffer for that? Like, that's your like, if they're suffering financially, if they're trying to survive financially, like, would you really want to put money in their hands? Someone meant to give you money, but then they had to give it to them first and have them hold on to it and then give it to you? What if you knew that person was having a hard time with money?
Oh,
Would you trust somebody? Like, bro, you know? Like,
yeah, no, you can never trust anybody. In
No.
life. That's all, you know. I think we would have to come in, you know what I mean?
Trust fund.
We'll come in, we'll do the trust fund. Like, either you just buy a loan from us, you get a loan from us, or in the long run, you might need a little extra help. You know, we might help you guys out with advertising, you know, sponsorship.
Or getting your tips directly.
Tips directly, you know.
Yeah.
We can even bring people to your restaurant just because we're dealing with industry and a bunch of locals. And that's pretty much, you know, like what actually builds up Vegas, you know, is the industry crew. We don't get a lot of prop for it.
What do we call it? What's the name of our group?
Tip Advance?
Oh, Tip Society.
Oh, he's talking about Tip Society. Yeah, we're definitely I should have just threw that in there.
Group. Man.
Tip Society, man.
Recorded on camera.
Yeah,
Slipping,
Tip Advance,
man.
man. Definitely be on
Tip
the
Society.
Tip Society, bro.
Don't worry. We'll make shirts to remind you. It's Tip
Man,
Society.
so yeah, Tip Society, bro. If you get one of these shirts and you're part of the industry, you should be part of the Tip Society, man. Just because, you know, if you get one of these shirts, they already know that they don't even have to say anything to you. You go to a bar, you wear one of these shirts, they know you're already going to be a great customer already, you know, just because you have that shirt on, just because they're all industry. It'll be a lot easier, you know, if people wear more shirts in the long run. We said Tip Advance, Tip Society, you know, Trust Fund, because in the long run, every time you see these shirts, they're going to come in with at least a minimum of $20. That's a minimum of $20.
That's it. It's on our,
For
it's on
every
our
bar,
site.
yeah.
How'd you like I made these changes? I know we talked about it, but we briefly talked about it. You didn't really stress to me about like the other amounts, but like this time,
No,
20, 40, 60, 80, 100.
No, I didn't mention
I
you
made
about.
simple.
You know, before I told you about, you know, the
You
basic, you know, the 1, the 5, the 10, and the 20.
Yeah.
That's more of like out of the strip, you know, like
It's more like bottom level customer service.
it's bottom level, but you have to start with that as well.
Dude,
But,
I've
you know,
never tipped a dollar.
Since we never, no, because you're a good tipper. But there's
That's what we
people,
want.
you know, you want to start off with the smaller tippers and then, you know, build up as well too.
We're going out.
But where we at right now?
Let's
So,
stop you
no,
right
no,
now.
no, I'm talking from the
bottom
beginning of this right now. But now we're talking to the next level where we don't want you don't want to be in the group of the 1, the 5s, the 10, and the 20s. Of course, you want to be in the 20s, but there's another group where you go to 20, 40, 60, 80, 100.
That's Tip Society.
That's Tip Society right there.
I don't want no regular Joe Schmo. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want an Austin.
Nah, because
Listen to this.
so Austin is a kid that literally just like, you know, if you'll buy a beer,
Okay.
you might tip $1.
If the bill is $100, how much do you think Austin will tip? Be honest.
I'll say between $7 to $8. He's pretty awful about that. He doesn't know his percentage and stuff like that. If the bill is $100, it should be a minimum of 10%.
So how much would you tip if you had 2 drinks?
2 drinks and a meal?
Just 2 drinks. And he's been there for 5 hours.
Oh, 5 hours. You should. It just depends on
How much
food.
would he tip?
Oh, how much he would tip?
Yeah.
I would say 7-8%, man, which is
What is that?
pretty bad.
$1.40?
Yeah, he's pretty bad when it comes to it.
That's what I'm saying. Like the tip society will continue to grow, but the foundation and the founders and anybody coming on this year, like you're a founder, like you know what I mean. Like that's how we treat you. Trust fund. We put that name out because it's all about that trust, and we are creating that fund. And we provide that fund in order for, and the only reason why that fund works is from trust. Our cash advance loans and everything that we do is not going to be credit score based, right? We're going to base it based on performance and actual real time data and shit like, where do you work? How often do you work? How often do your people tip you? You might not be the biggest. Let's say we both get tipped, right? Let's say we both work the same amount of hours. Our tips are the same, right? As far as amount. But let's say your people come to you, like your customers come to you at least once a week.
Yeah.
Mine comes twice a month. So you have double the frequency, but our tips are the same.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see my customers, my tips are bigger. So my tips are bigger, but they come to me only half the time that yours do. So yours comes, there's 52 weeks, yours comes 52 times a year, mine comes 25, 26 times a year, right? Same number. The way we're going to structure our tip advance, our mortgages, and our credit-worthy people is you know how to bring in frequency. You form a habit when it happens as often as possible. My best habit is when I do it every single day versus whatever it may be, right? Once a week, once a month, once every other month. It's hard to create a pattern. You've created that pattern and it has more of a residual effect, right? So even though our tips are the same at the end of the year, you're more valued higher for credit worthiness or scalability or just credibility, right? And so that's what we want to factor in this tip advance. We want to apply these industry rules and identify these industry patterns and put value to that. Not your credit score, not what you've done in the past, whether you've been successful or not successful or messed up on your credit, been late on a payment. We actually don't care, but because that's not what really matters. It matters that you know how to bring in something. So for the same loan, for the same profile technically, other than you have a higher frequency, we want to make a system, a lending instrument where I would only get approved for a house for $400,000, but you would get approved for $500,000 to $600,000, based off of that specific part of the analytics.
Yeah.
That you bring more frequency, because I think that's a harder number, and actually that has more value to the business, to the bottom line, than a person who brings in once every 2 weeks. Because who knows, my frequency might not be as consistent. It might be like you came in once every single week for 1 month, but then come in the next month. Versus you got someone coming in every Wednesday. It's part of his routine, you know what I mean? Or part of her routine. She goes here for lunch and she comes here. Like that routine is what gets like a business to have a good legacy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's tip advance. So I want like to advance the idea of how people think of tips. So that's a mental, like that's a strategic, like smart way of like think about like tips are like a way. I think of tips as commission. Whenever I heard of tips, I think of commission. I've been in sales and done sales teams and grew sales teams, and it's like there's no difference than the word commission.
Mm-hmm.
Tips is like commission. It's exactly what it is. So how do I know if a salesperson is really good? It's based off their commissions.
Yeah.
Same thing as commission people. They don't get a base pay. They don't get a salary. It's commissions.
No.
That's technically the same shit. The only reason why you guys have a base pay is because that's legal. But back in the day, like a bartender used to only make like 75 cents an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that wasn't too long ago. Or $1.50 or whatever. $2.50 I think it was what it was here in Vegas. $2.50 an hour. So their whole pay was commission based. That's their performance.
Yeah.
That's why they're buying their houses cash. Worked out well for them. But, I mean, Vegas was a whole lot cheaper. But looking at the medium of like household today, how like pretty much looks like California, how's anybody going to be able to advance their financial future or position? A good credit score is one, right? It says history. Yours says a lot because you've been working for a long time in the same industry and you've had that credit score for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the person who has a 800 credit score who's only 24? They have no history. They've had 2 fucking credit cards, one from their credit union.
I mean, as far as history-wise, when you give them regular little, little small loan or maybe car loan, they can get approved. But when it comes to home loans, then it's a different story. Even though you got a good credit, because even though you have a good credit, they'll check that credit out, see what's the history of that credit. Because in the long run, you might just been paying gas,
That's
just
it.
your cell phone
Yeah.
bill. But when it comes to housing, man, they wanna see you actually spending money or making money in the long run as well too.
Oh yeah,
So,
I've gotten a loan approved for a real estate property that I did, and just I got referred out to this group, and they're just I'm like, dude, I'm so strapped on my credit, because I used my credit for business. I think my credit score at the time was 670. My own personal bank wouldn't even look at trying to give me a loan for this property, and my buddy goes, check out this company. So this place is lived in Newport, so I went out to Newport where this place was. It wasn't too far from me, and when I went there, the person who was evaluating it was a team of 2 or 3 people, but the dude was telling me, because I was asking him how do you approve this, because he approved me for the full amount for the property, and that property was $1.4 million for that investment, and the only thing he said was I don't know if you're getting the best deal. That's what he said to me. I'm like, how did you approve me for this? When nobody else can. He's like, oh, we look at the value of the house, we look at the property, and the property, the potential that property can bring. We know the comps of that place. We know where you live and where you've worked and where your office is. So I had an office not too far from there, and they're like, you're not just getting into that office and wanting to not pay rent because you want that certain level of prestige to be in that office. Mm-hmm. So you didn't go for the cheap office. Where you live, it wasn't a cheap place that you lived. You want to live there. So of course you want to pay rent because that's why you're paying that premium. So that's how we approved you. I was so it had nothing to do with my credit score. So that was my first example of leveraged on how real people look at a real situation. And I looked at their portfolio. They bragged about it. They're we have less than a 5% default. We have no issues people paying out the loan. It's because we know how to choose our people. But the one that makes sense to most people is the value of the property and the potential was going to go up. So based on that alone, yeah, he could have just approved me for that, right? But for him to look at all these other factors and now tier me as I'm beyond an 800 credit score, mm-hmm. He's no longer looking at what most banks look at. And that's what I want for Tip Advance. I know you want that too, and it's we'll be able to identify if we're part of solving a problem for them. The last thing that you want is someone who gambles and pays high interest rate on fucking personal loans because their timing's all wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe they have an 800 credit score. They always pay their bills. Like you said, they paid their electricity, they paid their credit card.
And I was like that. And I was like that. It's crazy because I would spend all my money, machines, shit like that.
Right.
And then when I bought my car last year, they didn't have to look at my job or nothing like that.
Nothing.
You know what they looked at?
Just the score.
My score. When they saw, I think at the time it was 825. So when they saw 825, they didn't want to hear nothing else. They knew I was already approved. So I was because I was asking, you're not going to check out the history? Because I'm because my job right now is this time, with Bella Vita, I was not getting that money correctly. Yeah. But just because of the credit score, man.
But there's something about that credit score. The credit score is something because you have to really, it's not just a score when it's at 800. At 720, yes. At 750, yes. Right? There's a lot that you can do. There's easy ways of getting into 700.
Yeah.
But 800 is something a little bit different.
You get approved about damn nearly anything, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. So, 800, even a 700 credit score is pretty fucking, it's one of the biggest tools for business.
Yeah.
Right? And us being in the debt type of industry, that's what is going to make a difference because you've been in the industry. That's why I feel comfortable like getting into business with you and getting into a business like this, because I told you from day one, like you're gonna write the parameters of how we're gonna approve the loan. Like we're not even asking for a social security number because I don't know what that tells me.
No, we
But
just.
the credit score doesn't tell me anything.
No, not really.
I mean, if they're 800, yes, but 99% of the people who apply for a loan don't have 800 credit score.
Nah, man.
You're that 1%. You know what I mean?
I think the probably the average as far as industry, man, is probably like around 650, 700.
Probably where mine is, yeah. But here's the crazy part, like talk about relationship and building a relationship. Like if I went to a Honda dealership right now, try to buy a fucking brand new car, they probably either hit me with a high interest rate, high down payment, and like treat me like I'm the shittiest. I'm I have very little credit worthiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I walked in a fucking BMW, fucking Mercedes Benz, like I could probably have a 420 credit score, and I can come out there and they'll treat me like a tier 1 credit person, right? Because that relationship. So that's why I'm just saying, like, credit is not exactly what most people think about it, and it is all a game, but played at so many different levels. Tip Advance is just super specific to like the industry.
Yeah.
That's why I was always wondering. I was like, how strong will this, like, the way we do business in Vegas? How long? How much will that apply, or will that apply to everybody else in pretty much like anywhere in the country?
Yeah,
You think so?
I would definitely say it.
I see that in like Florida and like in and maybe like even New Orleans, but I haven't really traveled too many places to understand like anything similar. Like I like New Orleans was like, it's not similar, but it's like it has that same kind of thing, you know, like
It has that down south swagger thing about it, you know,
yeah,
when it comes to the
you know what I
industry.
mean?
like-
Yeah, people take it. People know the industry and they identify with each other.
Yeah.
They all know each other, but they don't know each other, which is kind of crazy.
Mhm.
Big town, but small town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like it's crazy.
It's definitely much more of a friendly environment compared to the West Coast for sure, man.
Yeah, it is, but there's a lot more racism over there.
Yeah, I think it's racism everywhere, but still, it feels like I say, even though like I feel like it's more racism right there in the East Coast, I feel like there's more nicer guys in the East Coast than it is in the West Coast. I think there's just, you know what, I'm putting it the wrong way. I think there's just more rude motherfuckers in the West Coast. And there's definitely probably racism somewhere else. No, it's clicking.
I'm just trying to make sure. Aren't you looking too tall?
Shit, I was leaning earlier, man. I was cutting off my eyes like this. I was like, yo,
Yeah, excited. Yeah. So, what else did we cover like this morning with your brother? 'Cause I know like this video, this is like just documentation for us, for the company, for your brother and future partners and future investors and future people that work in part of our team. I know we talked about our team. Like we want that to be an extension of us. Like hopefully, like in the next 6 months, like the people that tell you about the people who tell the people about Tip Advance seem like they're the owner. Something we experienced today, like that owner made a difference.
Yeah.
It was a $25 difference. You know what I mean? We got 2 free shirts.
2 free shirts, man, and actually, just getting those samples from them. Usually people don't, tell us like, they're just telling us like, oh, this is a tequila brand. This is, who we work for. But, when we went to Total Wine today, we went to George and he explained that,
He didn't even say his name. He says, I'm on the bottle.
yeah, he didn't even say his name. When I asked him, I was
"That's
like,
in the bottle."
I said, who distributed this bottle? When he said, oh, the guy's name's on the bottle, which is his name, it was George something. Goo?
Yeah, something.
I don't know what it was, but man, he was a cool guy, man. As soon as he
Really
fucking
cool
introduced
guy.
himself. And he's a hustler, man, because
Yep.
he's selling his own product at the store, you know what I mean? Which, that's the reason, we wanted to, take care of him by at least getting a bottle just so we can kind of support, like, these local vendors just coming into town, hopefully he hits us up. And, he might sponsor us, but we're probably more likely sponsoring him in the long run.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
if we be part of this company in the sense that like, we'll give them that $1,500 per month value, and we'll do any cross collaboration, so any co-op advertising, like any way that we can collab with a guy, we will, because he is hustling. I would want someone that is attached to my brand that hustles like him.
Yeah.
That's why, like his alcohol,
You know what we got to do?
wasn't a 10, but yeah, that alcohol is better than the Nosotros.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So-
it was better definitely with the margarita for sure.
Yeah.
Man. But
So it's different.
You know those little advertisements you got at the bottom?
Mhm.
Just to see his little advertising there, bro, he's probably gonna go crazy. You
Oh,
know?
yeah,
And
for
somebody
sure.
else is hooking it up.
For sure. He's going to
So-
see it. He's going to see Tip Advance. He saw us representing. He knows when we're walking around. Who knows? Maybe he was having a cigarette while we walked out to the car. But he's going to see us more often. We'll find out what events he does and if he needs like assistance on doing the events. Imagine like imagine he finds an event, right? Like the nightclub and bar nightclub show that happens is October, November, whatever, once a year. Restaurant and nightclub. It's the biggest expo here. I can't believe you're from the industry, but you're working. That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. What industry versus industry, right? Like there's this bar nightclub show expo that happens once a year. It's big. Everyone like all over the U.S. comes here. But like I don't know if they're really the industry people, because when I talk to the workers there, they're like hired help. They're like expo girls, right?
Yeah.
And like they're not real like bartenders. They're not people here from
No,
Vegas.
usually you
like,
only have like 4 or 5 people that actually come in and actually talk to them, which is like probably distributors or the main guys. But a lot of them are like just regular workers. They're not really
Yes.
industry. They're just
No,
workers.
and that's how like I feel like there was a big difference. Like my brother owning a restaurant and him working behind the bar, and him, like a lot of my friends own restaurants and work behind the bar. They still don't know industry.
Yeah.
Like if I show them exactly what's going on here, like and what we talk about, they won't understand it. I feel like I've just almost as good as of an understanding of the industry as they do. And when I came out of here and I didn't understand a lick of it, like I didn't understand what the heck was going on. I didn't understand that there was that secret society almost, right? It is kind of a secret that's like out front. You know what I mean? It's in plain view sight, but it's so hidden.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's how I explain it. That's why it's just like if I tap into that, how do we really infuse Tip Advance to be part of that? Well, that's by showing value. I mean, you shared that with me. Like, give them as much as possible on the front. Even George today, the owner and who's owned a restaurant, now has his own tequila brand. What did he say? Oh, he gave us an example of our own business. He's like, I'm gonna tip you $100 and I'm taken care of before I came in. He embodied the name Tip Advance, Tip in Advance. So there's multiple ways that you can like decipher what Tip Advance is, but we mentioned that, but now we heard it from somebody else
Yeah, from another
who
bartender.
barely knew what the fuck Tip Advance was. He thought it was a sex shop or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, because like
That's insane.
we know stuff, but there's more bartenders out there that know more stuff about industry. Just because right now, we're only dealing with 2 people right now, but when you go out there, people can understand, because for me, like, he said $100, which makes sense. Oh, I would never do $100, but the thing is, like, there's people out there that's willing to do it, you know what I mean? For me, I'm like, when I come in the bar and I need attention, and the bartender's like bullshitting around.
That's not true. You would do $100. I'll tell you why.
No, I would definitely do it. How quick and who is the person as well too, you know what I mean? And but
Let me ask you this: you're at a club. There's 2 lines, right? One line is free, right? There's 3 lines. The other line's $20. One line is $100 or $200, but you're walking right in, and you have a girl with you. You're not by yourself. What would you do?
I don't know, man.
Stop lying. You'll do the $200.
I won't do too much. That would be you. I'll be the mediocre guy. I'll wait in line. This is what I'll do. I'll wait in line. I'll pay for the 20 and tip them $80.
That's gonna be based on the level
that's better.
of cuteness or hotness of your girl. If she was a 9-10, you're paying that $200. If she was a 6 or 7, you might be paying the $20 and waiting in line.
Man, I'm always gonna wait in line, man.
That's what I'm saying. But you heard George is like $100 I'm taken care of.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's no difference. And like I would pay that in an instant.
But see, the average bartender right now.
We don't want the average bartender.
No. I'm telling you, the average bartender would throw a 20 right away.
That's cool.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to get the attention. For me, if I need the attention, let's say she's over there bullshitting and talking. If I have a 20 already in the tip cup, she's gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't even give you anything to drink yet, and you already have money in the tip jar."
I like that trick. Actually,
They're gonna be like,
that trick.
"Oh,
that tip.
Here's your Jack and Coke," and all of a sudden, she knows she already made it 20 for the day, so she's gonna wait until you come around till you finish that drink. As soon as you finish that drink, she's gonna give you another one right away without asking. You know why?
Yeah.
She might ask me like, "Want another one?" For me, I won't even say another one. I'll just give you one out of the blues. I think about just giving one out the blues without even asking for a person for it, it's almost like, oh, you feel a little special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I got a new one that I learned. I accidentally did it, but now it's my move. So I was at a place with my brother, and like we're at a bar, and it's kind of busy, and I was like, fuck, how do I get their attention? Like this girl's kind of cute because I was drinking a little bit or a lot, probably a lot for that whole 3-day weekend. But I walked up there and I was like, all right, close me out, but keep me open. And it's just like, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, close me out, keep me open, right? And she was like, what? I was like, just close me out, keep me open. So she closed me out, right? So I threw a fat tip, but keep me open. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it was just like, she like looked at the fucking like tip, and I was just like, well, everybody else is waiting. I'm coming back to the bar. I'm not even coming up to the bar. I'm just like, you know, like, can I get 3 more?
You're skipping the line.
Yeah, right.
You're skipping the line when you do a fat tip for sure, man. Because
that's priceless.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's industry. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, tipping in advance goes a long way. Of course, like, I can't remember. I know the tip was good, but I was just like,
yeah, man.
That's regardless. I could have tipped good later on, right? Because you know, I learned this from like a lot of people that I know. I'm gonna base my tip based on the service. Where I think the industry is different, and I've always been kind of like this, but like I've really honed down my skill. You know, being here and being with you, it's just like I'm gonna pay for the type of service that I want. I do it with a smile. I do it with my like courtesy, my like kindness. When I know someone is like extra busy, stressed out, I'm extra like fucking nice,
right?
You know, to that server, to that bartender. I'm like, oh, don't worry about us. Take your time. You know what I mean? But whenever I've said, don't worry about us, take your time, I get my service faster. Because it's like nobody's reflecting or nobody's giving back like any of that positivity, that smile, and that goes a long way. But now it's like now I know how to use the money and use now how to do everything. Do the full motion, do A to Z kind of thing. And I think tip advance will provide value because if we can share that with the industry, the better the industry is going to get, the more people are going to tip, the more people are going to make.
Yeah.
The bigger the house, the bigger the car.
And I think by us, creating a site, man, I think when people get a hold of it, like industry and locals, I think it will definitely bring way more money.
Oh yeah.
To bartenders and industry.
Absolutely,
bro.
I truly believe that.
Man.
And like that'd be cool to say.
And I think
we've been talking about the $50 million that we're gonna sell the business for, but like, how much more money are we gonna help the household income? You know, like people are in the service industry.
And that's gonna be the good part too, man. Like to help people out, with like house loans, man, because it's been a struggle, man, for the community out here to get the house loans, just because the paper trail is not there. Paper trail is never there except for your regular paycheck. Your paycheck usually, because there's times you can make $1,000 on your paycheck, and you could be making $5,000 worth of tips.
Yep.
And probably a good example of that is Carnival Court out there at Harris. They're probably making like $20 an hour, but you don't understand that, they're only making $20 an hour, and a lot of people don't know about Carnival Court. This is where the places where it's over there beside Harris, where they're flair bartenders. You can make $20 an hour, but you got to think about it now. These guys make $250,000 to $500K a year. You would think you'd be like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. $20 an hour is not going to make you, $250,000. But when you're taking home like $2,000 $2,000 to $5,000 a night, sometimes on a good day, you're good. Because
Yeah.
a lot of, I would say at least half the people that works at Carnival Court are driving Ferraris, Porsches, AMGs, G Wagons, probably.
And it's crazy because they know how to provide that level of support that matches that pay. So
Yeah.
it's not like they won the lottery. You know what I mean?
No.
Like they worked for it. They understand like how to provide that level of service that most people don't even understand,
Yeah.
and most people don't even receive to even understand it, right?
Yeah.
So I understand that. Like my ballet guys, like I remember my buddies, and like even like when I go to ballet in Newport Beach or Laguna Beach, like some of them are making like $140,000-$150,000 a year as a fucking ballet.
Man, so
Dude, are you serious?
you can make great money. Like I didn't even know. Like one of my friends are working at the Stratosphere at the tower. What's that?
The
The
strap.
strap. What it's
Yeah.
called? I don't know. The one that's fucking spinning. And when he told me he was working there, I was like, man, that's a great steakhouse up there, man. You know, like it's a little overpriced. But I asked him. I was like, hey man, I was like, for you being a server up there, bro, I was like, since that's pretty, high up scale, man. Top of the towers.
I don't know what it's called.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Top of the towers.
I thought it's called like Cafe fucking.
Don't say no Cafe Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah, top of the tower or some shit like that.
Cafe Roundabout.
Yeah.
Cafe Carousel.
He told me he was fucking making like $120K a year.
That's
I'm
what I'm
like, that's a
saying,
server.
bro.
I'm like,
Like,
and he's only making like $17 an hour. I'm like, yo, the tips has to be fucking phenomenal over there. You be making
No.
that type of moolah.
I had no idea like the frequency. I mean, just imagine like, for example, we have like old school, right? Like generation before us, or even our generation. Like your parents are like, oh, become a doctor, become a fucking lawyer. Right?
Top of the
Like,
world.
top of the world, yeah, it's easy. Yeah, like they say, become those things, right? Become a nurse, right? And like no one's ever saying like, oh, become a bartender, become a server, work in hospitality, you know, like
Yeah.
be a concierge, whatever, right? So it was the same thing for me. Like I remember like in my family, my mom specifically, even like more my mom than my dad, but even my dad too. You know, they brag about like my cousins and like relatives. Oh, you know, they're only like 32 years old and they're a registered nurse making $180,000 a year. And I'm just sitting like listening to this. And I'm like, this is like I'm making like $300,000 a year, you know.
But you're
like,
not getting the
I got a
bragging
super
rights.
nice house. They live in a townhome. I live in like a super nice house. Like, and it's like my mom would never. My parents, my aunt, my uncles, that generation would never brag about just because of the money that I make. It's like that title.
Yeah.
Right? So like we want to like I think Vegas is going to be the epicenter and tip advance is going to be a great instrument to provide like people to understand like listen, this is like it's like any entertainment, any commission based job that you can think of. Like anything that sky's the limit, right? And here in Vegas, I do believe that. Like I thought like maybe places in Orange County, LA County, like rich areas, you know, like Santa Barbara, whatever, is like you could potentially get that $1,000 tip. It was crazy to me where like the reason I heard about Larea was because Chris, and she's not your hot young chick. She's freaking an older lady from like Minnesota. She's cool, but like when she told me one night in the 4-hour shift she made like $1,100, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, that's even a possibility? So you're saying like every single night of course, it can't be every single night, but like that one person could give you this money, like somebody could really reward you. And like she's like, yeah, you gotta meet this guy, like you and him would like be good friends. And it was Jason Trewick, you know, just like, and like I didn't want to meet him. I didn't want to meet some like rich white guy, you know, who dated Britney Spears, like. But when I finally met him, I was like, this is like one of the coolest guys, you know, like,
Joe, you know what I mean?
yeah, just a normal dude, like who takes care of people.
And everybody's like that too. Everybody's
Yeah,
like normal
bro.
Joe until you start realizing like unless you figure out like they're a little more uptight than usual, you know.
Dude, you would never know. Like, you'd never know that he's in a Britney Spears music video making out with her. You know, like, and it's like it's so crazy because he's just like this average dude. You know, like he tips well, but he's not loud. He's not like doesn't talk about the car he drives. Doesn't talk about where the hell he lives. Like he's just like a guy who comes in once or twice a week to the restaurant and sees that it's your birthday or you're going out of town and slips you like a couple $100. You know, it's just like, and didn't take care of like the hot girls that were working there. Took care of the older chick that he liked talking to. You know, like, so I was like, yo, this is a possibility here in Vegas. Like, so you just never know. And for me, if I was a server or bartender, like I would treat everybody like they potentially could give me $1,000. You know what I mean? Like, and we want to make that. We want Tipper to be part of like as an instrument to help people understand like this is a performance-based job that can be high performance. Yes, we're gonna start at the top. We're gonna cater to like people who identify those people, and that's for the purpose of like our relationships with our sponsors and our lenders, you know, our banks and everything, right? We want them to know when they first look at our portfolio of clients that they know that they're like high spenders. Why? Because later on, we're gonna put everyone in there. So you'll be treated like a high earner, but even maybe you might not be making $120,000 a year. Maybe you're only making 60. But imagine because we built our business early on, that's right now at $120,000 clientele, like or members, right? But we're also offering that service to 80, 60, 70. We have to start at the bottom, at the top, right? So that we can sing songs like Drake does, start from the bottom, right? That's just a song. He definitely started from the top. You know, like you don't start from the bottom. You don't have the hit song you don't have the song that's at the bottom and build it from the top. Or build it to the top. Started from the bottom down to the top. That's a fucking lie.
Going up his ass.
Yeah. He got that one banger and started right there at number one. Boom. And dropped a bunch of other bullshit stuff, but still like he started at the top. Nobody starts at the fucking bottom. That's a fucking lie. That's where most people lie. Oh, I started at the bottom and work myself up. Chances are you're still close to the bottom, and it takes a long time to start from the bottom. You got to start at the top. Elon Musk did it with his cars. He didn't start off with a $30,000 fucking Model 3. He started off with a fucking, with a sports car, with a Lotus-looking body car. And it's like you start from the top and you come to the bottom, and then you treat the people at the bottom like people who were treated at the top. But you only know that from the top, and so that's why our strategy is where it's at right now. But also that's the reason why we're going to be able to keep it for free, because we're going to have the highest level of sponsorships and like people that we collaborate with. I think that's what your brother really started understanding.
Yeah.
That we figured out like a high level like revenue model. That made sense. Because $1 million sounds crazy, a little bit, but not like more and more I think about it.
Yeah.
And if you understand that $1 million doesn't sound too crazy in a year, $1,500 kind of sounds crazy too. But then, like, we're crazy, and we have to provide value if we chop it up in zip code.
Yeah.
You know, like if I told you, like, oh, we're charging $1,500 for a business to advertise anywhere in Las Vegas, you'd be like, kind of expensive, but it might be worth it because all of Vegas. But when I hit you, I was like, $1,500 per zip code. Made you really think about what are we going to be able to do? Like, what? Like, there's no more rebuttal or no more objection. You know what I mean? Like, if I told you $1,500 per advertiser for the whole thing, you'd be like, oh, maybe we should start a little bit cheaper. But we went so crazy, I said $1,500 per zip code. And I told the math, I was like, you know what that means if we get half the zip codes, all the affluent ones above 80,000 household median, which is quite a bit, which is 20 zip codes, that's $1 million for that level.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like it makes sense, because mathematically, on a spreadsheet, it makes sense.
Yeah. Like, we're going to ask for that million anyway, but, since the motherfuckers don't really understand, we go by zip codes, so push come to shove, man, we're going to hit all the zip codes. But yeah, man.
I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I've been in advertising marketing for quite some time, but only on a local scale. I don't really know how to do national. I don't understand a national campaign like I don't understand gold, the value of gold, right? But it's like, but I'm not saying that it's the wrong thing to do, but what I'm saying is like, I understand locality and targeted market and being pretty specific, and then charging enough where I can do something. Charge enough so I can do enough. If I get you like at $500, you should know that like I might not even be able to afford to get you successfully to where you need to be at. But I charge you $1,500 at the top of the food chain, at the highest level. Like most packages are anywhere from $200 to $2,000 per month for this type of advertising, right? And so I'm at $1,500. I wanted to be at $2,000 to be honest with you, right? But $1,500 made sense on a spreadsheet. I was like 1,500 at 20 zip codes. Even if we just did 1.5 sponsorships for 3, we have 3 for each zip code. That's $4,500. All we need is half that.
Yeah.
So 1.5 each. So it's like technically the number's 30, right? 30 zip codes, but 20 the most affluent ones. Like actually, I did the math and it still worked out. Still $1 million. So I was like, that's a good number, $1,500 with the highest level. If I ask you for $1,500 and you're a business, right? And you hear these people pitching all day. People pitch you at 200, people pitch you at 2,000. You've never heard of my company, but you're a business here in Vegas or anywhere in the world, right? Or anywhere in the US. And I said $1,500. What's your immediate thought?
Oh, that's cheap.
No, you didn't think like
no,
on the upper level.
On the upper level?
Maybe, right? Like, because if you hear all day long, you calls all day, telemarketing calls. People ask you, hey, we're only $200 per month. We're only $500. But on the range, it's the 200 to 2,000. If I came at you and said 1,500, you're not going to think of me as a $200 package.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? $1,500. You're not going to also say I'm crazy because I'm not the highest that I've ever, like, that you've been asked. But $1,500, like, what would you think? Like, as a business owner.
I think it'll still be cheap, bro. Because look, bro, just getting advertised for $1,500, bro, per fucking. Because you're not asking for. Because we're asking for like the failing restaurants or the failing bars along with we're trying to pick up. If we're picking up like the top 10 failing bars for $1,500, we can do something. You know what I mean? We can definitely do some damage. So I think that's. Well, it's an easy go, man. It should be easy for them to connect with us.
I think anybody who talks to us, a business owner, we have a sick combination. I mean, we had a crazy example the other day. It was not yesterday. You're like, let's go to a place and ask for like the bars or their places that are doing the worst, right?
Yeah.
Give us your 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And then what I say, I was like, all right, yeah, we'll take your 2, 3, 4, or 5, but give us your 2, 3, 4, or 5 of your best ones so we can show you that, like, we got both ends.
Yeah.
We'll show you how we're going to pick up the bottom, but we're also going to show you how we're going to fucking kill the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's the multiplier. Like, you got good customers, the business is doing well. Don't just give us the bottom. We're going to make it work, but we're going to show you the same business or the same solution, but the strategy is a bigger multiplier at the top. So over here, all I have to do is multiply your dollar to like $2 to $3. But you're already at the bottom. You're already going down. You're already negative. But at the top, I'm going to show you like a 10x, 20x, 100x. So you need a combination of both. But because we had both those strategies, like that's how we're going to capture all of it.
Yeah.
From top to bottom, from bottom to top. Like I think that's. I think your brother understood that part too. I think your brother understood.
We need to make a coin, bro.
Yeah.
We need to make a coin. I'm telling you.
Yo, your brother got so excited. I know, like he's talking our language too. Like it's like, and we will. I mean, we're gonna do all of it. We're gonna secure funding, and I don't know if like. Here's a cryptic message I got from your brother. He's writing this, and he's doing good at what he does, but it's not like something that's always going to happen or something that's always going to be there. And I think the reason why he's so good at what he does is because he understands that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, I say I understand that, but when you're in the mix and it's happening, you think it's gonna happen forever. You know what I mean? Like, when it's going good, you think, oh, this ain't gonna ever stop. I know I told myself this is gonna stop. I know other people have told me that this is gonna stop, but your brother is saying that consistently, and I think like he's also scared that sometimes he might tell himself that this is good and it's gonna be there for a while, so we treat it like that. Well, I think that what he was trying to really say, or part of his message was like, what we got going on is like something that's a whole lot harder. It's not fast cash, but it's like something that we can really build. Maybe he was in a sense planting some seeds saying that he won't sell for $50 million. Like, he's not going to vote. Like, he wants to long term, like, because, you know.
Yeah, the long term. Because my thing is, okay, if we're making that type of money, why sell it?
Why sell it? Because we want
No, but I'm saying, okay, let's say if we have the traffic and we're making a certain amount, why sell it? Because if we're just in Vegas, it's just gonna get bigger.
Okay,
it's just gonna get bigger within the next 5 years, just because what's coming in here.
What happens if like one night, right? You've been really good. You know what I mean? Like you're training to be a priest, and you know you're in another marriage. Like you have a couple more kids, but one night you're just like you shot up some wrong TRT, smoked like the wrong like blunt.
It will
like,
never happen.
Hit the DMT pin out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you wake up in the morning time, and it's just like you did something that like jeopardized the company. Where like now you're $150 million in your bank account, you're on your side, not even my side, not even your brother's side. All of a sudden you put that out all at risk, and they're just like, we're gonna take this all away. I listened to this thing about remember Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, he fucked up.
Yeah, but you know he really didn't.
What do you mean he didn't?
Dude, he didn't. He wasn't found guilty for any of that, and people were like coming to his defense, like, but it affected his career. He was like on one of the best shows. He was like part of this one movie. Like now they're showing like he beat all the civil cases, the criminal cases, and people came forward like, yo, this is all just like bullshit. He is gay, but like, and he is friendly, and he is super nice, and like he probably you know, come on to you, like, but like how he got like just buried to this day, nobody's exposing what really happened. So I'm not saying like you did something crazy, but like now there's so much at risk, like when you're at that level. You know what I mean? Like Kevin Spacey was at that level. I mean, he's at the top of the food. He's one of my favorite fucking actors.
Well, you know, like, I think in the long run, I think when we have that, I think we should have definitely some lawyers and make sure we can backtrack, make sure.
Dude, you don't think these people have fucking lawyers? Like,
no, but I'm saying
like
bro, like, but what do you think is going wrong? What do you think? We have to figure something out.
Man,
like,
I mean,
the reason we're gonna get fucked up is gonna be because of the secret bar menu.
No, I don't think so.
Because of the sex sales,
no,
bro.
It's
easy to sell sex in Vegas, man, but when you put it online, man, bro,
there's already a game to be played, right? I already talked to you about like putting on a retainer, a DOI attorney, the top DOI attorney here in Vegas, and we don't even have any DOIs. But it's like assuming that no one would pay for that, right? It's like, but it's like that. It's what comes along with that whole process of like knowing that that's available. Now imagine that, like now on speed dial, that we have 10 lawyers all the time. Like, what fucking rules really apply? Do you think in your mind? And it's not like you're gonna take advantage of all these things, but like, the world looks different. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that you're gonna take advantage. I'm saying like there's other people that take advantage of these situations. I give Kevin Spacey as like one of example. There's a lot of like there's always people like emotionally disconnected of how they really feel or think, and they attach themselves onto like a storyline that works for them, that makes sense. Especially for us, right? There's gonna be motherfuckers looking at us that even know us, and they're gonna be like, dude, there's no, like, that person, like, those two guys, you know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna be like, those two guys? No fucking way.
You know? With the kid, Kevin Spacey's scenario is he did get fucked over at the last minute, right? You know, they just brought it up like 2 days ago.
What happened?
That he ended up selling his house.
Oh no,
Just
dude,
'cause,
yeah. There's a lot of shit that he had to go through.
I thought you said he went back. I thought he was clean.
No, he beat all his cases, right? And like a lot of the accusations ended up being like stupid and like not true, right? And like he got accused
So
of
how did-
certain events. Like he got accused of certain events that he wasn't even in the fucking country or that state, bro. And what happened was like he just got buried by fucking like the media, and they attacked him. All these people came about, but like, dude, he had so many fucking friends who like vouched for him, and like people who got
Because I was
accused.
reading it earlier. It said Kevin Spacey has lost his own
Dude, he hasn't worked since, bro. He got dropped from everything. He lost everything.
So or he
That
lost
was like 7 years ago that happened. He got and he got fucked for in the past 7 years. He didn't pick up another movie. He didn't pick up another thing. And dude, like at that high, that's what I mean. At that high level, he has major expenses, right? Well, I mean, let's guess at what he was making. 10 a year, maybe. What do you think his expenses are? 10 mil, 3. That's conservative, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you stop working. How long? No matter how much money you have in the bank, in 3 years, you're
Yeah.
gonna lose everything.
Because when you're at that top of the tier, you know what I mean, with far spotlight in Hollywood, man, like you have to act like you're still a millionaire. Or
What'd you
billionaire.
say earlier? You get that money, you're gonna put half in, build
Oh yeah,
build shit out, right?
I'm gonna build shit out.
But
yeah.
once you build it out, guess what? That has an expense.
Yeah.
So now your income, right? Your income is part of that infusion, right? And so it's like when we commit to certain things, when you buy a fucking $5 million home, guess what happens? You still have to pay the gardener fucking $1,000 a fucking like.
It's
fucking month.
it's
You know, like, it's
easier.
crazy,
It's easier
bro.
on my turn just because it's gonna be my family. Hey, you gonna have to take care of that.
Still, but they gotta eat too.
No, okay. They're going to
Food costs money.
No,
Food's not
it
free.
does. But the
You know
thing
what I
is,
mean?
like, you know, hey, I just gave you a house. You manage the shit.
But
know?
you didn't just give them a house. You put them on
their
payroll
job,
for
payroll, yeah.
you know $100,000. You paid for the kids' fucking tuition to go to college. You know what I mean? And now they're in college. They gotta eat. They gotta like sleep somewhere.
Oh, you can't help everybody. You,
No,
you,
but
you,
what
you can do a
happens,
certain
like-
amount, yeah, definitely.
But how money has a multiplier.
Yeah.
So does like that dollar that you invest in, like especially family. There's definitely a multiplier. There's not a single dollar that doesn't turn into 10 that they don't need $10. Whether it's $1 per month after that or $10 the next month, like there's still like a residual effect that you're committed to, and that's what happens like when you start building this shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's take the cash and let's start building some other stuff. I'm not saying like we're not going to continue to build, but now we have like part of that resume. Like we have something strong. You know what I mean? Because here's what happens over time. Like the business can go like this, like stocks do. Why do stocks go like this? Because business goes like this. Why? Because like customers go like this, right? That's why the stock market is available. Is because business doesn't go like this, bro. It doesn't go like this. No, dude, it goes like this. And you better hope that we're not on the down like this. And
Unless you
fucking
buy
some
it.
hits us, like, unless we buy into it. But that's where other people come in. That's where these fucking vultures come in. They're just like, yo, they're down right now. Let's buy them, right? Oh, sorry, you guys we offered you $50 million this year, but you know what? You guys expanded and fucking grew too fast. Now you're worth 10. Take it because you have to. And I don't want to be like with cuffs on, be like, this deal. Otherwise, fucking everybody loses their job. Everybody loses their job.
You definitely want to be on the safer side, I see.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the exit. I'm not saying like exit's always the right thing, but I'm just glad like I'm not the final decision on this because like I already have like this I already have like a preset almost like if we can exit out and have that like stamp of approval that we did it here in Vegas, I think that's going to mean way more worth than money because it's like everybody we talk to is going to believe us. Every phone call, every meeting that we want to have with anybody in fucking Vegas, we can get now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we're probably gonna get it with our company. But just like Kevin Spacey, one stupid thing happens and we just drop for a little bit. No one's taking a call. Nobody's vouching for us. Bezos, Elon Musk, they're not just be like, oh, you guys are awesome, and next month they're saying like, oh, you guys fucked up. Look what happened to Elon Musk. He smokes weed on the fucking Joe Rogan fucking podcast, and his fucking stock goes down. It's not because their sales are low, because he smoked weed with fucking Joe Rogan on the podcast, bro. And then fucking a bunch of people talk shit to him. A bunch of his friends, a bunch of these other fucking big fucking Goliaths like fucking like talking shit to him. And he's like, I don't give a shit. Just watch it. My fucking company and everything I've done fucking will. And he came back up. Boom. I thought when that happened, I knew that fucking, like, that was all bullshit. Like, oh, they're going to judge him for smoking weed and drinking on Joe Rogan? So it's done.
This starts every
30 minutes, yeah.
Okay, because I was like, yeah, that motherfucker done did it twice already.
So yeah. That's what I'm saying, like, and I don't want to be a fucking victim of that, because guess what happens when you're at the bottom or when you're going to dip? You just work 10 times harder.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I already know that we'll get over it and we'll ride the waves. There's winter, there's fucking spring, there's summer and fall, right? But I just want to exit right when I can stay in summer and stay there. I'll go to winter and go snowboarding when I want to, but I don't want to be taken there and forced there, bro. You know, yeah. I don't want to be fucking driven there and fucking see fucking winter when I don't want to see winter. I want to fucking visit there, but I want to exit out and do summer.
You don't see Timberlands being a safe, like, you know, safe community where like, how can we get sued for something big?
I think that we're gonna. I'm not saying we're gonna break a lot of rules, but I think we're gonna break a lot of the way things are done. Right? Like if you look at like the identity of who we are, it makes sense, and that's what's gonna take us there. But it doesn't make sense why like we become like $1 billion company.
You think because we're alcoholics is going to be more of a risky factor? Right?
I think for the people who understand, they understand that, right? And they'll understand like that's how the idea came up. But the people who don't want to even give a fuck about caring, about understanding, they're not even part of the industry, those are the attackers. We don't have to worry about the people. We don't have to worry about our employees, our partners, or our investors. It's the outside world that just be like, how the fuck are these fucking guys fucking like have a fucking multi-billion-dollar company?
Yeah.
How are they one of the biggest brands in fucking Vegas? To be honest with you, another reason why I want to exit is because I don't want anybody to know we made this brand. I want fucking like someone else to take it. I want fucking like Tip Advance to become so fucking big. They're just like, yo, it's a fucking Anheuser-Busch fucking buys this tech company. You know what I mean? Like, what's this company? I want to be here like 5 years from now. We're just sitting there like, and somebody down the fucking like at the end of the bar, they're like, I know who you guys fucking are. You know, like, we don't look like billionaires, bro. We don't look like fucking 100 millionaires. We don't look like anything. We just look like two dudes how we started, still at the same spot. Now we're just not worrying about shit. You know, like
we'll be the next Penn and Teller or everything, bro.
You know, I mean, we drove a car there, right? We drank at the bar, and we had 2 other cars delivered because when we leave the bar, we want to drive 2 different cars. You know. But I want to be undercover. I want to be fucking through the fucking back door. You know, I mean, like, I want fucking, like, I don't want people to know that we fucking built this thing. I just want the people who do know and the people who fucking worked hard to know, like, they're just like, I know. Mm. But I don't want to be everywhere just like, hey, I know who the fuck you guys are, like, at any fucking bar. I want to be able to walk into any bar and just be like, nobody knows who we are. But we have Justin Bieber fucking come up and he's like, I don't know who the fuck you guys are.
Justin Bieber.
It's some random like, because we're at a fucking hidden fucking like an underground fucking poker fucking like room that the buy-in's $1 million and the rebuy-in's fucking unlimited.
Oh yeah, I'm down for that. I'm definitely a poker player, man.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I want those people to know. I don't care about everybody else. Like I want to be able to walk up to a place and just like hit on a girl and have the confidence because like I'm a fucking 100 millionaire, right? But like she doesn't know that I'm a 100 millionaire. You know, like I want it for the confidence and like that fucking just like I don't know that euphoria. But I want my game to fucking like it's gonna hype my game, but I don't want it to be my game.
Yeah, it's just more of those like you don't want it to be your game, but when you see a hot girl it's game on.
It is, but I think you're gonna change. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's the reason why, like, honestly,
Change in what way?
Like, for example, like, I don't park at the front of the fucking restaurant. I park like in the back.
Yeah.
You know, even if I have the nicest car, a really nice car, like nobody knows that I have that nice car until later. You know what I mean? Like nobody knows that I know the owner of the fucking business. It's just like, but when they do, it's game over. Like,
Yeah.
but honestly, like that's the only game that I do know. It's like I want girls to like discover me, but I also want to set that up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that was a nice setup. It's just like, all right, I don't want to show off that we had the fucking cars, but it was nice that like we happened to park there and we happened to be walking to our cars. Like that's a nice setup.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like I don't want to be that guy who just always parks out front. You know, like boom. You know, I want to be the guy who parks fucking far away, but then that one girl who is understanding and realizes like that guy's the fucking dude who fucking parks all the way fucking far away.
You know, it's going to take longer for them to recognize that instead of just parking in the front. You know what I mean?
No,
it's just like Citrus. You know.
Yeah.
You know, you want to park a little far, but nah. As soon as you pull in, people know who's walking in. You know.
I feel you. I feel
you don't want that exposure right away.
No.
But you kind of want that exposure as well too.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, but it's a nice combination. Should we have another beer?
Yeah, man. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna have another beer.
Trust
Advance.
Fund. Tip Advance, Trust Fund. Today we did good. Potentially another sponsor. Who knows, man? Maybe in a year from now, that sponsor is going to be, George is going to be bigger than we thought he was ever going to be. And we saw his hustle at a place where we weren't even supposed to be at. We were heading to a restaurant.
Yeah, we should have brought the bottle in. Just be part
You know what
of
we
the
did?
action. But,
Here's how our dumbness actually is going to help us. This is one good example that we have on record now, right? We're so dumb that we just like, before we go to a restaurant, we can't wait fucking 12 minutes to wait for it to open. We go to fucking Total Wine to go fucking grab a tall boy.
yeah, so we went to Total Wine to get 2 tall boys to save money. We went in there, we bought a bottle and some beers, and we still fucking up spending way more than we had to in the long run.
But if we didn't do that, we wouldn't met someone like George.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
imagine a year from now, and he's one of our multi-million-dollar fucking sponsors, and he started fucking like just like we did, and his business grew while we grew, and we grew at the same time, and we helped each other out. We didn't just help him out; he didn't just help us out. Like we helped each other out grow because we're all hustling. And we understood that. We would have never been there if we didn't do fucking what most people think is stupid things. But maybe that's just part of our fucking like. Maybe that's part of our fucking genius.
No, he's gonna watch this video and he'll be like, yo, I remember those motherfuckers right there, man.
Oh, I thought they had a fucking sex shop.
Yeah, tip. I only want to put the tip advance in. You know, I was like, no, it's not quite that well. But when I said tip, you know what I mean, cash tips. You hit him right away. Oh, I put $100 right in the tip jar, man, and take care of you right away.
He
Boom!
did say that.
He knew it.
Yeah, he did say that story.
He knew it right away. So
yeah, he did say that. Because you know what, people think tip, make an advance at people. That's like fucking a little sexual, and then it's like trust. Let's have fun. You know? I don't know. Like,
I don't know. Maybe they're looking at. We gotta get this trust fund. Just put this tip advance. And put like a couple of dollars, you know, dollar sign.
Trust fund catches your eye, like
it does, man.
You know what I mean? Like this is something that there's no shirt out there that says tip advance, of course, for sure. But there's definitely no shirts out there that says like trust fund. You know, like we're just like, and you try to live up to it. So it's like it's at a certain level. You know what I mean? It doesn't say like just above poverty. You know, like, it says trust fund. That's what it is.
So make sure you guys become part of the Tip Society, man. It's definitely gonna be the top thing going on out here in Vegas, you know. But it's definitely one way to help you redeem yourself, or as you know, money wise, you know, friendly. You know, you get a lot. You make more friends probably with this tip and advance thing, just because you get to see more of your regular bartenders, your locals, your friends. You know, as soon as you sign up, man, you know, you can give them notifications, you know, before you come to work. Just let them know where you're gonna be at, what section you're gonna be at, what bar you're gonna be at, swing shift, day shift, graveyard. You can follow your bartenders. You can follow your cocktail waitresses, but you have to be in that inner circle as well with that worker as well too. It's just not you can invite yourself only. No, it's invite only through them. So
Yep. And we have one thing that we care about, and one thing that we're doing since day one, and it's a slogan that we never mentioned. It's not even on our shirts, not on the website, but that's what we're all about is tipping the industry.
tipping the industry,
That's
tip
it.
society, tipping the industry, tip advance, whatever you want to call it. We want to take care of the industry for sure, and it's definitely going to happen. So make sure you guys join that team.
June 2024. Let's get it.
Hell yeah, man! I wish I had more beer